reality. I want to say first, before bringing the panel up, the first panel, that really the goal of TOD Marketplace is really to bring the best practices of transit-oriented development to our region. I think in 2009 we had 4 technical advisory panels. Most of them were in the Inland Empire. In 2010 we concentrated in Orange County because the committee saw a need for a study of really bus transit, bus rapid transit. We selected 2 cities, Laguna Hills and Garden Grove, because of the proximity to bus transit. When we formed the panel to look at these 2 opportunities in these cities, we didn't realize that we were going to come across what we call POD, which was pedestrian-oriented design, and the need for everybody to start to look at this segment of the marketplace and how the pedestrian gets around. That's where you saw the video. That's the title of our theme today. It's pedestrian-oriented design and the next step. And I'd like to introduce now for the first panel, will the Laguna Hills panel please come up to the podium. And I will introduce again Yolanda Sepulveda, Director for FUZE Community Design, and she will introduce the panel.
Hello, everybody. Thank you all for attending. Briefly, I just want to take a moment to recognize the city staff that's in the audience. Do we have any city staff representatives from the city of Laguna Hills? If so, I'd like you to stand up. Hi, Vern. Vern Jones of the city is also very instrumental in helping us coordinate on this technical assistant panel. And then I'd like to also recognize the panelists who are actually part of the technical assistant panel. Doug Campbell with Campbell & Campbell. If you hear your name, please stand up so that you can be acknowledged. Elizabeth Cobb, she's the Vice President of Development at Shea Properties. Don White, who's the Assistant City Manager with the City of Laguna Hills. Steve Crosley of Fair & Piers. Dan Falcone of McCormick Marin Salazar. Jason Fick of JZMK. Simon Hibbert of JZMK. I know I saw Simon here. There it is. Joe McClyde of Cooper Carey, Jason Silver of Jamboree Housing. And the panel was selected with the scope in mind of what the city had coordinated and requested us to do in order to help them solve some of the TOD/POD problems. And with that, to give you an overview of how and why we came to this agreement and came up with this project, I'm going to go introduce Don White.
Thank you, Yolanda. In Laguna Hills, we sit at the crossroads, really, in the Saddleback Valley. We're right at the El Toro Road and the I-5 freeway. And at the heart of this intersection is our 240-acre commercial area that is really, there's many properties in there, but the big ones are the Laguna Hills Mall, Oak Brook Village, and Saddleback Memorial Medical Center. We really like to refer to this as the downtown of South Orange County, not just the downtown of Laguna Hills, but the downtown of South Orange County. And as strong as and successful as this area has been, we came to the conclusion over 10 years ago that it was underutilized and that something would have to happen. Changes would have to be made for it to remain competitive in the marketplace. Back in the 80s, I suspect, I started in Laguna Hills in 1991. The Laguna Hills Mall, Oak Brook Village, that was really the only game in town. And I mean for all of South Orange County. There was a mall to the south of us, the Mission Viejo Mall, but if anyone went there in the 90s, it was about 40 to 50% vacant. The Spectrum was just getting underway, and there was no Aliso Viejo Town Center, and over the course of time, all of those competitors came into the area and drained a lot of the energy out of our urban village area. So we decided we needed to do a specific plan to guide future development there. And in a collaborative effort with the property owners and with outreach to the various stakeholders and the public, we developed and adopted the urban village specific plan for this 240-acre area. The purpose of the plan was to develop policies and standards that encourage and would facilitate the creation of this village-like downtown core, and would shape its future as a continuing vibrant regional and community destination, and also to foster a sense of place. And when we were developing it, of course, we were saying, and we're going to do all of this in a pedestrian-friendly way. I think that's probably the biggest challenge, especially given the size of the area. And we did this by a couple of things. We did reduce parking standards, we increased residential density, and we provide some incentives for people to come in and make development because it was kind of on a first-come, first-served basis. We had so many trips allotted, and if you were first in, you got those trips. Well, since the plan's adoption in 2002, we have worked closely with the property owners to try to implement the plan. And one early effort actually involved trying to get the Saddleback Memorial Hospital and Simon, who owns the mall, together to do a joint parking structure. That had a lot of promise. Simon ended up kind of killing that deal. The hospital built the parking structure anyway, but on the other side of the mall. It will never serve to help the mall in any way. Simon now acknowledges that that was a misstep, although I don't think that's what we mean by missteps in this program. In spite of these efforts, the only real success that we have had in implementing our plan was we actually bought a building and renovated it, invested $16 million, and we have the Laguna Hills Civic Center in the urban village area. And we also spent about $6 million on El Toro Road, both widening it and also putting in a lot of the design elements. That doesn't necessarily mean that we haven't had any private investment in the area, but I would say that the private investment that has occurred has not really pushed forward the goals of the urban village specific plan. And for us at the city, that has been very frustrating. Following the update of our general plan in the summer of 2009, we began to look at updating our urban village specific plan. And it was during this process that we became aware of the TAP and thought it would be a good idea to get some objective expertise from some independent parties to take a look at our area and take a look at our urban village specific plan. And as we discussed the possibility of participating in the TAP, the interplay of the bus transfer station and all the other various private bus systems operating in the area began to really emerge as an untapped opportunity and something for us to focus on, especially when we consider that these amenities and services are really bringing in. It isn't that people are leaving the area, they're coming into this area and they're bringing pedestrians.